Welcome to EPG Pathshala in the subject of Information Technology in the paper of Mobile Computing. Our today's topic is Bluetooth. In the previous module, we discussed about two basic categories in which the WLANs can be divided. One is infrastructure LAN, which requires access point for the devices to communicate with. Other category is ad hoc LAN, in which no access point is there, the devices just ad hocly communicate with each other. In the previous module, we discussed about one of the category of infrastructure LAN, that is Wi-Fi with the standard IEEE 82.11. In today's module, we will discuss ad hoc LAN Bluetooth. Bluetooth is everywhere. We are very much familiar with this term, from the mobile phones to the manufacturing plants, from automobiles to medical equipments, from wearables to smart homes. So, the technology is everywhere. It is so much integrated with our life that we are now using it as a verb rather than a noun. That is, we are Bluetoothing every day. Initially, it was developed with the motivation of replacing RS-232 cable, but then it got integrated with the personal area network and integrated with the standard IEEE 82.15. Now, it is well established as an open standard for communicating and collaborating disparate products and industries. With the introduction of Bluetooth version 4.2, the energy efficient standard was introduced. With the support of that standard, in 2016, Bluetooth 5.0 was introduced. These two inventions or the introductions to the Bluetooth technology opened new eras in wireless communications. The new versions of Bluetooth aims to deliver fourfold the increase in range, twice the transmission speed, 800 times increase in the range of broadcasting, the introduction to the mesh products, internet products. It has opened or increased the Internet of Things universe. This technology is now gaining global recognition. According to a current survey, the customer awareness of Bluetooth technology has been 92% as in 2016. So, our today's module will be we will be studying about the underlying principle of Bluetooth technology. The topics which we will be covering today are, we will have an introduction of Bluetooth technology, we will see how Bluetooth technology evolved, the technical specifications of Bluetooth and the networking of Bluetooth in the form of piconets and scaternets. So, just look at the definition of Bluetooth. It is a radio communication technology that enables low power, low cost, short range wireless networking between the devices. You can see in the diagram itself that the different products have been connected via the Bluetooth, and they are of disparate technologies. That is, you can see the combination of telecommunication industry with the telephonic industry. The very question which arises in our mind when we think about Bluetooth is the peculiarity of its name. Why at all it is known as Bluetooth? So, to understand the reasoning behind the name, let us go back in the medieval period. Bluetooth is named after the famous Danish king known as King Harald Bluetooth. Bluetooth was his nickname and it literally translates to Bluetooth. King Harald was famous for uniting the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Denmark and Sweden. And he also has the credit of bringing Christianity to Scandinavia. Now, what has the medieval king to do with the wireless communications? The answer is he was a uniter. So, as the founders of Bluetooth technology, when they were looking for a name for this technology, thought that as the king united the Scandinavian countries, similarly Bluetooth technology was also developed with the aim of combining telecommunication and telephonic industries. Hence, they come up with the idea of the name Bluetooth. So, Bluetooth is also considered as a uniter. It unites the computer and telecommunication industries and brings incompatible products and standards together. Let us look at the need why Bluetooth was evolved. It was an era around mid 1990s, a complete era of incompatible standards with different wireless technologies. Different companies and different industries were using their own form of wireless communication. Intel was using business RF, Ericsson, MC-Link, Nokia, low power RF. So, there was a need of standardization to avoid the fragmentation of industries. With this goal, Bluetooth Consortium was formed in 1998. Initially, the founder group of Bluetooth Consortium consisted of 5 corporations: Ericsson, Toshiba, Intel, Nokia and IBM. The special interest group of Bluetooth was formed. Since the Bluetooth, as we have seen that the Bluetooth was named in the memory of King Harald. So, in 1999, Ericsson erected a rune stone in the memory of King Harald. You can see that it consists of the picture of the king with 2 hands. In one hand it carries a laptop and on the other hand the mobile phone. So, this figure shows the union of telecommunication and telephonic industries, the very reason why the technology is known as Bluetooth. In 2001, the first Bluetooth product hit the market and the Bluetooth evolved. More and more companies started joining the special interest group. The recent ones are Apple since 2015 and Lenovo since 2005. Now, there are more than 3,000 members in the special interest group. While the Bluetooth was developing, similar developments were taking place in IEEE 82.11. They were thinking of forming a personal area network group. So, they were looking for the technology which could comply with the rules laid down for a wireless personal area network. What were those rules? The criteria for a wireless personal area network were: the technology which competes should have a market potential. That is, the application vendors, customers should be available and they should be adaptable to it. It should be compatible with IEEE 82 standard, which was already well established. It should have a distinct identity other than 82.11, which was existing, and of course, the solution should be technically and economically feasible. That is, it should be cheaper than the other solutions which were existing then. Bluetooth fulfilled all these criteria. Hence, Bluetooth Consortium and IEEE WPAN groups united and IEEE 82.15 standard was formed. There were also existing wireless communication technologies at that time, but what were the reasons why the Bluetooth was superior than those existing technologies and why it became so popular? So, let us look at the difference between one of the technologies, IRDA, which stands for Infrared Data Association. So, in this technology, using infrared waves, the two devices communicate with each other. Infrared has very high frequency waves. So, what are the issues related with infrared which are sorted out by Bluetooth? We can see the difference between Bluetooth and Infrared Data Association. Bluetooth is point to multi-point, that is, one device can communicate with many other devices, whereas IRDA is point to one point, that is, only one device can connect to one device. Bluetooth supports both data and voice, whereas IRDA supports only data. Bluetooth antenna is omnidirectional in nature, that is, it does not require line of sight, whereas IRDA, since it works at very high frequency range, it has directional antennas which asks for line of sight. In Bluetooth, the devices can be mobile in nature, whereas in IRDA, both the devices should be stationary. And the most important factor by which the Bluetooth is superior than IRDA is the range. The range supported by Bluetooth is from 100 meters to 1 meter depending on the transmitters which are used in Bluetooth, whereas the range in IRDA is only about 1 meter. Let us look at the technical specifications of Bluetooth technology which have been standardized. Spectrum. Bluetooth uses 2.4 gigahertz ISM band. What is ISM band? It is a license free band and abbreviates for industrial, scientific and medical. This band is totally license free. The channels which are used for communication. Bluetooth uses frequency hopping. What do you understand by frequency hopping? The available bandwidth is divided into different frequency channel and the transmission takes place from one channel to another channel at different time intervals. That is, we can say that the whole bandwidth performs frequency division as well as time division. Since the transmission is not on a particular frequency band, it is known as frequency hopping. So, Bluetooth also uses frequency hopping. It uses 79 channels in the available 2.4 gigahertz band with a channel spacing of 1 megahertz, and the transmission is hopping so fast from one channel to another channel, as in there are 1600 hops per second. The modulation technique used is, as we said, that it is frequency hopped spread spectrum with 1600 hops per second, and between the sending and receiving time division duplexing is being used. The transmit power ranges from 1 milliwatt to 100 milliwatt depending on the transmitters which have been used. There are different classes of transmitters, we will just look in a short while from now. The number of stations supported are 8, that also we will see when we will see about the piconets. That is why the number of stations supported are 8, because Bluetooth assigns a 3-bit address to the active members, hence only 8 members can be associated in a piconet. The hop dwell time is 625 microsecond. Now, what is hop dwell time? That is the time for which the transmission remains on one frequency channel. The topology which is used, as we said that Bluetooth is a ad hoc networking. So, the topology is also ad hoc in nature and it is decided by the overlapping piconets. Voice link. Voice link takes place over synchronous connection oriented link. Forward error correction is being used. 64 kilobits per second duplexing is used. The connection is point to point and it is circuit switched. Data link. Data link it consists of 79 channels with 1 megahertz carrier spacing. The 0th channel is 2.402 gigahertz, whereas the 78th channel is 2.480 gigahertz. Data rates differs from the Bluetooth version to versions, and as the versions are evolving, more and more sophistication is coming in the technology in the form of data rate as well as in the form of power consumed. So, you can see that in version 1.2 the data rate was 1 megabit per second, whereas in version 2 plus EDR the data rate increased to 3 megabits per second. Then with version 3.0 which was enhanced with high speed, the data rate was 24 megabits per second, and finally with version 4.0 with low energy, the data rate is greater than 24 megabits per second. As we said that the power and the range supported by Bluetooth depends on Bluetooth transmitters. So, there are 3 different classes of Bluetooth transmitters, namely class 1, class 2 and class 3. Class 1 is used for industrial use, class 2 for mobile phone and class 3 is for normal use. Class 1, the power consumed is 100 milliwatt, whereas the range supported is 100 meters. In class 2, the power consumption is 2.5 milliwatts, whereas the range supported is 10 meter, whereas in class 3, the power is 1 milliwatts and the range is greater than 10 meters. Class 3 type of transmitters are used in wearable devices which forms the body area network, where the range required is very less and the power consumption is also kept low, so that it does not harms the human bodies. Now, let us look at the networking side of Bluetooth. The Bluetooth topology is based on piconets. The term pico means very small. What is a piconet? It is a collection of devices, at least 2 devices should form a piconet, connected in ad hoc fashion, synchronized to same hopping sequence. We said that Bluetooth uses frequency hopping, and that a hopping sequence in FHSS is also fixed. So, in one piconet there is one particular hopping sequence. There are 2 roles of devices in a piconet. One is the master and other is the slave. Now, let us make it clear that there are no special networking capabilities for the master and the slave. Master is the device which initiates the connection and determines the hopping sequence. So, the hopping sequence is determined by the master, and the device which becomes the part of the connection which is initiated by the master and which adheres to the hopping sequence determined by the master becomes the slave in literal meaning. So, you can see in the diagram that there are 2 piconets. In the first piconet there is one master and one slave, whereas in other piconet there is one master and 4 slaves. As we said that any device can become a master or a slave, no particular networking capabilities are required for a device to become a master or a slave. There can be at the most 8 devices in the piconet, and as we said that any device can be master or a slave. All the devices in the piconets, they are following the same hopping sequence, therefore, they should be synchronized among themselves and also synchronized with the master. So, how the synchronization takes place? They are synchronized with the master's clock, that is all the devices synchronize themselves using the master clock. So, master periodically transmits its clock state in the form of beacon frames. A device in the piconet can be in many states. We will be listing these states one by one. The first state is the standby state. It is the state in which the device is waiting to be associated with the piconet. It is not the part of the piconet, it is just waiting to be associated with it, but please take care, it is not switched off. So, the devices which wish to take part in the piconet are in the standby state. Second state is the inquiring state. The inquiring mode can be one of the 2 different ways, that is, the device want to establish a piconet or it just want to sense the neighborhood. The first state, when the device want to establish a piconet, which can be preferably by the master. The device scans other devices in radio range. To indicate the inquiry process, it sends a inquiry access code common to all Bluetooth devices. This message is broadcasted over wake up carriers, and the second state is inquiry mode, which is sent by the standby devices. The standby devices periodically search for ISC messages. When they get these type of messages, it returns a packet containing the device address and the timing information required by the master. It then becomes the slave. Next state is the page state. When the master finds the devices, now it wants to establish the connection to each device. So, what it does is that when it obtains the device address which are in the vicinity, it calculates the hopping sequence to contact each device individually. The slave answers, synchronizes itself to the hopping sequence, and then it enters the connection state. So, when we talk about the connection state, the device is connected to the piconet. The connection state can be in one of 4 forms. One is the active state, which consumes a lot of power, whereas other 3 states which have been defined consumes less power. Now, what is the active state? In the active state, the master assigns 3-bit active member address to the device. The slaves participate in the piconet by listening, transmitting and receiving, and at any point of time it can go back to the standby state. But as we said that the active state consumes lot of power, and since the wireless devices are power is an important resource for the wireless devices, therefore Bluetooth adheres some principles by which it can go to a power control state. So, these are the 3 states which consume less power. Sniff state, the literal meaning of sniffing means searching for something. Sniffing means listening to existing Bluetooth devices in vicinity at large intervals as compared to the active devices. Now, active devices also do the same work, they also sniff the devices in the range, but how the sniffing state is a low power state, because the active devices sniff at very large very small intervals, whereas the sniffing state devices look for the devices at short large intervals, and hence the power is less. Hold state, the device stops ACL transmission, which is power hungry, and continues on SCO exchange. It does not releases the AMA, that is the active member address, it retains it. The third state which requires the least power among all the 3 states is the park state. In this state, the device is not the part, it is still a member of piconet, it is synchronizing to the same hopping sequence which is being provided by the master, but it is assigned a special address which is known as parked member address, which is a 8-bit address. Now, what is the use of these 2 addresses, and what is the use of a active state and a parked state? What happens is that parked state is a 8-bit address, whereas the active state is the 3-bit address. So, at the most 2 raised to power 8 devices can be in the park state, whereas 2 raised to power 3 devices can be in the active state. When in an active state, some device does not wish to communicate for some time, it goes into park state, and one of the device from the park state is switched over to the active state. So, effectively the number of devices which can take part in the piconet are 2 raised to power 3, that is 8 plus 2 raised to power 8. Hence, the bandwidth is efficiently utilized. We just talk about that the active state is power hungry, whereas the other 3 states consumes less power. So, just look at the power requirement in different states. When using SCO in HV1, the power consumed is 53, SCO HV3, whereas the sniffing mode is at 1 second interval, the power consumed is 26 milliamperes. In ACL mode with 723.2 kilobits per second, the power consumed is 53, whereas when the ACL mode 115.2 kilobits per second, the power has drastically reduced to 15.5, and in the ACL mode 38.4 kilobits per second, but please note the interval of sniffing has reduced to 40 millisecond as compared to 1 second in the previous column. So, the average power required is 4 milliampere. In the ACL mode again at the same data rate, but the sniffing mode interval has changed 1.28 millisecond interval, again the power has reduced to 0.5. In the parked mode, the power consumption is 0.6 milliamperes, whereas in the standby mode when there is no RF activity, the power consumption is the least, that is 0.047. So, in the above table you can see that when the device is in the standby mode, it consumes the least power, whereas in park mode of as compared to the sniffing mode and the active mode, the power consumption is least, which is 0.6 milliamperes. Now, just look at the example that how different devices occupies different states. The scenario is like this: device D0 wants to establish a piconet. It looks for the devices in the range and finds that D1 is in its range. So, now D0 becomes the master and D1 becomes the slave. So, there are two devices in the piconet right now, D0 and D1. At the same time, 4 more devices come in the range of D0, that is D2, D3, D6 and D8. Of these devices, D2 and D3 do not wish to communicate, D6 and D8 wish to communicate. So, D6 and D8 becomes the slaves. D2 and D3 are in the range, but they are not communicating at present. So, they go in the parked state. So, you can see in the diagram that D0 is the master, D1, D6, D8 are the slaves and D2 and D3 are in the parked state. Now, again more devices come in sequence, D7, D5, D4, D9 and D10. They are arriving in sequence. So, D7, D5, D4 go in the standby mode because they wish to communicate, but they are in standby position right now. Whereas, now since the capacity has exceeded, devices D9 and D10 cannot be the part of piconet. Now, we have seen that how piconet is supporting the networking in Bluetooth with the formation of master and slaves, and how the devices can be in the different states. The question is that when more and more devices are coming and joining the piconet, the throughput is drastically reduced, and also it is not very efficient for one piconet to utilize the entire available 8 megahertz bandwidth. So, what is the solution? The solution is in the form of scaternets, that is more than one piconets combined together to form a scaternets, and all these piconets occupy the same 80 megahertz bandwidth. What is a scaternet? It is a group of overlapping piconets sharing the whole bandwidth. The piconets in the scaternet, yes, we need to have a separation between the piconets also. So, they are separated by FH CDMA, that is among the piconet frequency hopping is used, whereas amongst the piconets CDMA is being used to separate the piconets in one scaternet. The devices participating in more than one piconet act as a bridge between them. We said that a device can take part in more than one piconet either in the capacity of a master or in the capacity of a slave. A device can act both as a master in one and slave in another piconet. You can see in the diagram there are 4 piconets in the scaternet. In piconet 1 there is one master and 2 slave, but you can also see in the diagram that in piconet 2 the device which was slave in piconet 1 is acting as a master in piconet 2. So, the circle which consists of both of red and yellow color indicates that this device is acting both as a master as well as a slave. In piconet 3 you can see that there is one master and 4 slaves, but one of its slave is also acting as a slave in piconet 4. That is, the device is acting as a bridge between the piconet 3 and piconet 4. So, you can see that any device can act as a master, any device can act as a slave, a device can act as a master in one piconet as well as in a slave in another piconet, but mind it cannot act as a master in 2 piconets. So, in this way the whole of 80 megahertz bandwidth is used by all these 4 piconets, efficiently utilizing it, increasing the throughput. In this module we discussed about the Bluetooth technology. We saw that Bluetooth is a ad hoc network, that is ad hoc WLAN, which does not require any access point for the devices to communicate with each other. We saw that why Bluetooth is named so, how Bluetooth consortium was developed and what is the special interest group of Bluetooth. We saw the need of development of Bluetooth and the difference between Bluetooth and the existing technologies. We also saw the technical specifications of Bluetooth, and we saw that on the what type of spectrum it works, what is the modulation technique used, what is the data rate, the range and the power consumed by Bluetooth. We discussed the topology of Bluetooth in the form of piconets and scaternets, and we saw the different states in which the Bluetooth devices can be. To efficiently utilize the throughput, we saw that the different piconets can be combined to form a scatternet. So, for this module, this is all. Have a good day.